from beautiful South Florida. There's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. In the air, and the NFL season is in full swing, and we're underway here in Week 4. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Play clock down to 3, and we're going to get a timeout here. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. First carry for DeAndre Swift. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
Ball on the 35. Here comes 2nd and 5. They'll stay on the ground with Swift. And he'll push forward to the 37, gain of 2. You talk about this Miami defense. And this unit, very tough to throw against. Currently second best in the NFL.
And this unit knows exactly where they rank. They're number 2 against the pass in the NFL. You know they have their sights set on being number 1, looking for a big game today.
An early test, 2 plays in. This is 3rd and 2. They'll try and run here with Swift. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. That's good for 9 yards as they convert on the 3rd down play. 3rd and short, so didn't need much, but got a little extra on the backside. Nice run.
Chewed up the yardage, didn't he? To me, that was offensive line with leverage, good blocking angles, taking on a stacked defensive front. And once they chopped that little hole in the beginning, he took it and rambled.
And just the 3rd play from scrimmage, wanted to avoid the 3 and out and did just that. Williams now looking to throw on 1st and 10. Oh, his first throw of the game going to be intercepted. It's a foot race. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown. So a big defensive play there on the opening drive, no less, as they make the interception and bring it back for the score.
And I think that's a signal for how this defense wants to play. They want to be disruptive, and you know they're going to take some chances.
Well, sometimes it can burn you, but right there, it paid off. Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that makes the score 7-0. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick six, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick six and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
You talk about this Miami defense. And this unit, very tough to throw against, currently second best in the NFL.
And since this is such a good unit of covering passes downfield, I think that last play is typical of what we might see. A lot of short passes, see if they can generate some run after the catch, but nothing doing on that one.
Williams to try again on 2nd and 10. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
On the ground, this is Devon Achane. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26. This defense for the Bears, they were terrific a week ago in that win over Detroit.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. 2nd and 9 now. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
Nice job there forcing that incompletion. This is going to be a fun battle throughout this game, watching him try to take away that area of the field.
So they've been unable to capitalize on the great field position as of yet. Here's 3rd and 9. And now the Bears going to signal for another timeout. And that's their second charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They'll look to throw. Short throw into the hands of Jordan. And he will not get what he needed as he stopped short of the first down at around the 22. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And it'll be 4th down. So on 4th down, Dolphin kicker Jason Sanders comes on. It's a 39-yard attempt, right hash. The kick by Sanders is good, and the Dolphins will add on to their lead. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points. but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
On 2nd down, here's Williams. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
They tried to throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. They'll try and throw with Williams. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore. More partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
This one now in their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And this will be a Bears 1st down as he gets it up past the 35.
I don't care what he's listed in the program. Fullback, running back, tailback, it doesn't matter. He ran that play like a fullback. Just like the old days when we saw the fullback dive. How about him picking that one up?
Only needed a yard on 4th down. That's what he's there for, right?
Exactly. Line him up, short yardage situation, and say, here it is, big man. Go get it.
On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And he'll get what he can up the middle, 3 yards. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Ball on the 39. Here's second down and 7. To throw, Williams. That pass complete to Moore. That one, a first down pickup of 8. So finally completes his first pass. Credit the defense, though. They've been showing him some different looks, keeping him off balance.
Yeah, I like the observation that you had there, because when you give him different looks, and you give any quarterback different looks, it takes just a little bit longer to process sometimes, and you don't throw the ball with the same confidence. You're not sure that that's where you should go with the football, and that's worked for the defense early in this game, but now he's got his first completion. Let's see if his confidence comes back, and he starts to get into a nice little groove.
10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Williams. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
They've had multiple opportunities on offense and still haven't scored any points. Felt like they wanted to loosen things up, throw it downfield, and see if maybe they could get a big play and a quick strike.
Second and 10. Looking to throw is Williams. To the right side, and he's got more complete. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people have to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory, down at the 33. To throw once more, here's Williams. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. Picked up by Minkah Fitzpatrick. And the Dolphins will have the football as this is taken up past the 30. A nightmare of a first half for him. And that's now 3 interceptions. But Charles, with his talent, if anyone can shake this off and right the ship, it's him.
I agree, because you don't get to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league without developing some major mental toughness. So I expect him to go in the locker room at halftime, hit the reset button, and come out a new guy in half number 2.
The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking, because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
2nd down and 8.
Just like that. Just like that. Watch 98. Watch 98. 98's the mic.
They'll look to throw here. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. First catch there for Hill, and he's got a first down.
I know we just saw a nice throwing catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
Now Achane on 1st and 10. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. The Dolphins at 2-1 now to start the campaign. And they were looking good until last week's loss took them from the ranks of the unbeaten.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was expecting this team to push the 72 Dolphins, but still, you got to take a lot of positives from this first month. If they can bounce back and move to 3-1, they'll be pretty well set up for the remainder of the season to follow.
This is 2nd and 8. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up. Converged on his man and broke the play up.
And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. And with that, they're now out of timeouts. And still plenty of time remaining here in this second quarter. On play action, they'll throw. And that will be incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
On 4th down, Ryan Stonehouse on to punt. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Could not have thrown that out there any better. When the ball hit the ground, I thought it might go into the end zone the way it was angling, but perfectly jutting out at the 1.
You think maybe what we saw in practice came into play there? You know, he put those big cans down on the sideline and angled for him and shot for him. Looks like it worked out pretty well for him, too.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. This 2nd and 4. Once again, it's Swift. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 20. 47 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries. Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
So the previous play, a big help, as now they'll have it 1st and 10 up at the 20. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half, 10-0 our score. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll send you up to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there, and he'll have stats and scores from a busy Sunday in the NFL. And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. And his first throw since coming in is incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Throwing is Williams. He's going to air one out. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Well, CD, you know, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. With 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off.
Yeah, instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him, throwing the football, while we look at the defense, they came in prepared, had an excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it away at almost every turn.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive.
They'll start in excellent field position following the INT.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
Now a 2nd and 2.
Back to throw. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now.
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to get it back together.
And not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Under pressure, they got him again. And now that brings up 4th down there, a loss of 6 yards on the sack.
Here's Ryan Stonehouse now.
As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. 46 on his first kick, this one in that neighborhood as well. This is taken at the 10. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. A good return there, 17 yards. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive.
And with 10 seconds left, not really enough time to put something together.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And oh my goodness, here's a 5th interception.
Picked off by Riley Moss. And he will be out of bounds with no time remaining on what will be the final action of this first half.
So we have reached halftime with our score 10-0. As we go up to Orlando now and hand it over to Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. 10-0 is our score as we get started again on EA Sports.
And the half will begin with a touchback.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive.
And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better, and I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation and pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. He'll drop to throw. Open man is Hill. He's got it. Without the previous penalty, that would have been a first down. Instead, it's just a gain of 10.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. They'll drop to throw. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Now a play fake here on first down. Escaping the pressure right. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
I'm not quite sure what he thought he saw there, but the reality was certainly a much different picture than what he anticipated. And give credit to the defense. They were down on the flash when he broke out of there, and they forced him out with almost nothing to show for his efforts.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Looking left sideline, it's complete. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. A big play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And his guy's now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. Sanders on for the extra point. He's got it, and it's 17-0. Is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Certainly not what they wanted there, so the football by rule comes out to the 40.
Well, not one you see often there as he fails to keep it between the sidelines, and that is a penalty every time, and going to give this offense better field position.
And it's every kickoff guy's nightmare, isn't it? Because you don't see yourself doing this, and most of the time you don't. It's absolutely a mishit, and now your team pays the price. Bad field position for your defense.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40.
To throw, it's Williams.
Looking middle, and that's complete. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up 2nd and 3 at the 47-yard line.
Here's 2nd and 3. To the air, Williams. And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Swift going to try up the middle. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. Here comes the Bears punter now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive.
Well, certainly they'd rather have the scenario they had last time out, Charles. Remember, they had the short field. They took it in the end zone. Now this is going to have to be a longer, more sustained drive if they want to get points.
Yeah, a little bit more of a quick strike opportunity last time by where they were on the field, and you're exactly right about that. But now, backed up a little bit. What's that old expression we love to use? Time to matriculate the ball down the field and try and do it again.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. Looking to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Only able to gain a couple there. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Third down and 6.
They're going to look to throw.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. That 3rd down conversion good for 23.
That's another beautiful throw right there. Gets it to his man right in stride. And I think that throw kind of exemplifies what we've seen from this offense throughout this game. They've been in rhythm. They've been sharp. They've been on it. And they pick up another first down there.
Back to throw now on 1st down.
That's caught left side by the tight end, Jordan.
And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. So the completion good for 7 there. And that will bring up 2nd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
On 2nd down, a run by Achane.
And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1.
He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down, and comfortably so, as he gets 5 there on 3rd and a yard.
Gotta say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll set up a throw. Eluding the pressure right.
He'll dump this off to Achane.
It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch, I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
Here now, 2nd and 4. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. From the 33, here's a 2nd down and 4. Back to the ground, H.N.
And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
As I take a look at the clock, I realize that this drive has eaten up a good portion of the fourth quarter already. Got to tell you, partner, when you're trying to salt away a game, this is exactly what it's supposed to look like.
On first down, back to H.N.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13.
Again, it's H.N.
And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. Sanders' kick is good. And the Dolphins will add on to their lead.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense.
Well, I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the fourth quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film session tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mentioned in the NFL. And this loss, it already stings and will for a while. But everyone on that offense knows it'll sting a lot worse if they don't put some points up on the board.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
Moore, the motion man right. Williams to the air on 2nd down.
Flush to his right.
Pass complete to Odunze.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That one good for 26 and a first down.
A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 43.
This is Swift on the counter.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
Ball on the 40 now. Here's a 2nd and 7. They will run straight ahead with Swift.
They're still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down.
If you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
They'll come up now 3rd and 3. From the shotgun, a throw for Williams. He's got the connection to Moore.
And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
They'll try it now with Swift.
And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. They only needed about 4 or 5 inches there, relied on the big guys up front, and got it done.
Yeah, this is the time to just go ahead and hit it straight ahead. No juking, right? No movement in the backfield. Take the ball and go. As I heard a coach tell a player a long time ago, save your dancing for the club, son. Just get up into that line of scrimmage.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Back to throw. Williams. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown.
Rome Odunze.
28 yards.
And the Bears are finally on the board here in the fourth quarter.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Jake Moody now for the point after.
That is good, and that'll make it 20-7.
Next to score, Dolphins 20, Bears 7.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
This will be fielded in the end zone, but he'll decide against bringing it out, so they'll take over at the 30. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive.
And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point.
We've got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on first down.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That one looks like he'll throw here.
Open man is Jordan, the tight end.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. At least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
Here now, 3rd and a yard.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Miami first down, and the Dolphins are going to win the football game.
So a victory.